Hello, Internet, and welcome to Nerd Break, the podcast where we take a break from life and nerd out about our favorite things. I am your host, Joseph, and joining me this week are two of my best friends in all of Hyrule, Zombs
Yeah!
and Moxie.
I totally paraglided down onto a horse and I failed and I died the most hilarious death.
Someone's been playing a little too much Breath of the Wild.
Yes. It's my favorite death simulator. I mean...
You know, I like how Link only has, no dialogue. He just knows how to scream and throw pots.
I mean, that's me on a daily basis after work, but you know what? Let's go with it.
Well, welcome everyone to our Zelda week. We are not doing a whole month for The Legend of Zelda. We are doing a week here on the podcast, as that week that we did all that wonderful news from the Nintendo Direct to the State of Play to BlizzCon. We completely bypassed The Legend of Zelda's 35th anniversary, just like Nintendo did. So only we're going to do it one better.
Yep.
This week, it's Zelda, and to start us off, let's talk about what we've been doing this week. Zombs, would you like to tell us what you've been doing?
No.
Whoa!
All right, fine. Moxie,
And that's
you
end of the
take over.
podcast. Yeah, so I've been a little stressed at work for many reasons and stressed in my life, and I've been taking the time to find a little therapy in the way of painting miniatures. So I've been vibing to some podcasts and some Adam Lambert, and I've been painting D&D miniatures. I recently did a Tabaxi Warlock, or what I assume is a Warlock. I really can't tell. It's got some leather shoulder pads and spikes on it, and it looks pretty Warlocky. But
It looks pretty
yeah,
neat.
I'm really quite proud of the realistic shading I did on the robe part to make it look grungy. But yeah, no, it looks really good. Um, I've been getting into that, and that's about it this week. I've just been very anxiety ridden this week, so I've been kind of burying my painting projects. Oh, and also apparently listening to Ghost as well, because they released their one video today. Happy birthday, Tobias Forge, because it's your birthday today. Didn't know that, or I forgot. So, happy birthday in Swedish. I don't speak Swedish.
Tobias forgot his own birthday.
No, it's the anniversary of um the changing over of the papal robes. Cornucopia became the fourth. So, he did it on his birthday, Tobias, you know, because that's how you would do it in style.
I like it.
Was there cake?
I can only assume with him and his wife, there's probably a bunch of alcohol involved in today. I have no idea. No idea. I'm actually not sure. Oh, it's actually March 4th right now over in Sweden. So 12:22 a.m. as of recording. Who knows what's going on for celebration wise? Who knows?
Indeed.
They're still partying. Partying
They're
hard.
still partying. Yes.
Okay, well, since Zombs has refused to share, I will share.
Okay, I'm ready. So, I went to work.
Attaboy,
Hold up.
Oh yeah, no, let's go.
And
This is
I
great.
played some video games. Yes, when I had recently talked that I was playing Little Nightmares and went back to go play it, but I've been getting dragged back and forth between playing some League of Legends, some
Yeah.
Gears of War, Dead by Daylight, a bunch of all that fun stuff. All PvP though, so. But hey, Gears of War, I like the storyline. I can keep playing. Like number one was great, but after I beat number one, I want to play number two. and then I want to play number 3, and I just want to keep going. Some reading, mostly manga though. Watching anime. I finished the Golden Kamui, and I need more Golden Kamui. Like, right meow.
I'll do you a favor and I'll email the people that make it.
Okay, you know what? When you do that, please send me a copy of that because I would like to see it.
Of the email,
Yes,
I'll just make sure to remember that in between the 1,000 other things I'm doing.
I'll remind you.
I'm sure you will.
And other than that, not a whole lot. I was heading out to class today, and my dog decided to slip out and took off running into the front yard. As I'm shouting at him, I'm like, "Come on, come back!" And he just looks at me and continues to pee on everything. He thinks he's still in the wild or something. He has to mark his territory,
I
and
mean,
I'm
that's
here
what
like
most dogs do.
I'm here chasing him and like with my backpack on and my scrubs running down the street.
Dr. Zombs chasing a dog down the street.
Good times. And that's pretty much all I did. Just a bunch of random stuff. Ooh, I had nachos on my pizza last night. That was fun.
That sounds delicious.
It was pepperoni pizza. Okay, had the slice, and I had a plate of nachos in front of me, but further away, and in front of me, I had a slice of pepperoni pizza while I was watching Vampire Diaries because Golden Kamuy was over. So, but Team Damon, by the way. And I picked up my nachos and I went to go eat it, and it broke, fell onto my pizza. And at first I was sad, but then the idea hit me that I should try this. So I did. And not only did I get major heartburn, but it was actually pretty good.
Major heartburn.
I have
Uh,
jalapenos on my
oh,
nachos.
oh, God. Shouldn't surprise me, but it does.
Nothing should surprise you when it comes to Zombs. Nothing. So is that it?
I mean, there's a lot more, but I can't take the spotlight today. Maybe next week.
Okay. Well, now maybe I'll regale you both with a little bit of what I've been doing.
Like the news.
No, like I actually have been playing some games. I've been
Oh,
playing
okay.
Super Mario 3D World on the Switch.
With Bowser's
Well,
Fury.
no, I need to try Bowser's Fury. I haven't actually gotten around to that yet. I know that's horrible, but
Donkey liked it. Should be like video game Donkey.
I'm sure I'll like it. I have been concentrating on the main game, which is probably pretty stupid considering I've already played through the main game once.
Mm.
So, but I also have been playing Hyrule Warriors, of course, and I've gotten through more of that, and they are really just playing shenanigans. This sounds like a script that you would have written, Zoms, because the 4 champions that you encounter in Breath of the Wild somehow mysteriously travel back in time to help fight the great ancient war 1,000 years before, or 100 years before, rather. It makes
It's all in a day's work for, heroes.
Yeah, but it makes no sense. I call shenanigans. They're playing shenanigans, really. And like I said, the roster of people that you can use to play as in that game needs all the help it can get. But good grief, that was an unexpected turn. Of course, I've also maybe discovered a new favorite character in that game,
Ooh,
Oh, who?
Riju, who was Urbosa's ancestor. The I'm blanking on the name of the all-female group that you go and visit in The Legend of Zelda. This is horrible.
Blackpink.
Don't help him. Don't help him.
Not hardly. Moxie, give me a break here, would you?
No.
You are so cruel
I
to
am,
me.
hey, I am chaotic alignment. Just letting you know.
Anyways, Rishu
hmm
fights using one of those sand seals. And it's so ridiculous. It's fun and it's funny all at the same time.
He throws sand at you.
Hey,
You are
Broseph,
very.
fights.
Yeah, I
you
read
should
it.
check
It's
the chat.
Gerudo. You mean?
Yes.
You
Hey,
mean?
just because I'm chaotic doesn't mean I'm not nice.
You are mean.
Hey,
But anyways,
I knew that before you did. I'll take that as a point.
Zombs, you're keeping score.
Yep.
Okay. Moxie has a lot. Broseph has very little.
I should
Hey,
never let
hey,
him keep score.
hey, hey,
You
hey.
want to know something though? I
What?
made cookies today.
What kind?
Chocolate
Gluten
chip?
free?
Not
Ooh.
hardly.
I
I
hate
don't
you.
have to. You are not here to hate me. Okay? If you were here, I would have made them gluten free. But you're not here.
Okay. Okay, I take my hate back.
So there. But yeah, I've been working my tail end off today, making
I
cookies,
was,
doing all
speaking of
sorts of things.
cookies, I was out drinking,
Mhm.
and am I allowed to say that? I was out drinking?
I would say so. It's a
Okay.
thing that friends do with other
And
friends
this,
or alone
so
when they're
this little
depressed.
girl comes into the bar, and she's got Girl Scout cookies, and she pokes my leg, and I look down. Oh, there's a child in here. Who let their child
There's
in
a
here?
child in here.
And
Who let the
she
child?
had the biggest glasses ever. She had like her hair was blonde and it was straight and it was really really long. And I was like, and she's just looking at me, and I say yes, and she was, you can tell she was nervous. Took her forever to finally ask, "Do you want to buy Girl Scout cookies?" And it was the most adorable thing I'd ever seen. And I opened up my wallet and I was like, "How much are they?" So they were like $5. And unfortunately, all I had was 50 on me. And she
What did you
sees,
do?
she could clearly do math because she just grabbed 5 boxes and handed them to me. And I was like, uh, and she snatched the 50 and she said, "Thank you." And she left. And I now had $50 worth of Girl Scout cookies.
I beg your pardon, but you can't do math. If they're $5 a box and you had a 50, you should have wound up with 10 boxes.
Yes.
I
You
She
did.
only
conned you, man.
She left the others on the bar, and everybody just helped themselves.
God, it reminds me of I did something similar. I waited and arrived at food line out here right as the Girl Scout group was setting up for the day. And I'm like, "Hey, I know you're just setting up, but you've been here a few times. How many sales have you made?" They're like, "Not many." And I'm like, "Okay, I've got $25 here." And she was like, the little girl was so excited. I was like, as the next Girl Scout, I'm like, I am determined to help as much as I can the local scouts. And I'm like, hey, listen, 2 gluten-free boxes and the rest are for my, my pals.
wonder if the Girl Scouts will be out around here.
Oh, you never know.
Well, speaking of things that are coming out, we're going to cut over to the news in the fact that Square Enix has decided to make another Final Fantasy VII remake.
Uh,
Hey, you get to play it. It's on mobile.
oh, you know me in mobile games. I actually don't like them.
Well, you might like this one. It's called Ever Crisis, and it's going to cover everything from the original Final Fantasy VII to the movie tie-ins to even the horrible games that everybody wants to scrub from their mind, such as Dirge of Cerberus.
You know what? I'm going to be honest here. I like Dirge of Cerberus.
Yeah, I've never actually played it.
Yeah,
It's
I've
actually
heard it
good.
was pretty good actually. Yeah.
It was actually really good. Then again, I'm a Vincent fan, so I gotta love my quiet, depressed edgelord character.
So the
Mm,
mobile game, how does it play? Is it like the old school turn-based RPG?
that's what they're saying is what it's supposed to look like. I don't know. There was a trailer out. I haven't watched the trailer. I just saw this and I thought, gee, Final Fantasy VII on mobile. What a novel idea. Just give
I
me a
mean, it could
PS5 and
be.
integrate and I'll be fine.
I mean, it could be good. Just technically, I don't like mobile games simply because it is very distracting. You know, the only mobile game I play is Pokemon Go because it's an excuse to walk as my cat screams at me.
I
He
think I
wants me to
heard
go
that one
walk.
actually.
Yes. Pokemon
It's
Go
a
or the cat
reminder.
scream?
Both.
Yeah, good. So my flame point is that loud. That's good to know.
One thing I will say, I've downloaded one mobile title from Square Enix, and every little bit it wants a download.
Yes.
And I just no. And it doesn't download the whole game. It requires you to download the game as you get through parts of it, more and more
Yes.
download to your phone.
At that
And
point, you might as well be playing it on disc.
I just don't want to, honestly. I don't want to play a Square Enix game with the way they like to do that kind of thing. I'll stick with Fire Emblem on mobile. That's the one mobile game I'll play. I may entertain this one because one of my favorite Final Fantasy VII games, Crisis Core, is supposed to be playable through this Ever Crisis. And granted, it probably won't be in any way, shape, or form the same way, but I may give it a shot just on that.
I'll watch people play because again, mobile games, not a big fan of them. I'm like that weird millennial that actually doesn't like mobile games.
No, I don't. I play Pokemon Go and
You play Pokemon
okay,
Go? Friend me,
yes,
bro. Friend me. We can send gifts to each other.
okay. And I play Grand Summoners, not very often, but
Mm.
other than that, I check the weather on my phone. I listen
I
to
do that
music,
daily because it's like, am I
uh,
gonna freeze my,
emails.
what off, or am I gonna be fine today?
Um, Sometimes if I go to new places, I'll use the Maps app, and I check stocks.
And then you check stocks.
You know, with that in mind and the fact that stocks drop, it brings us to our next piece of news in the fact that sources claim that Google dropped a Stadia exclusive that was being planned by Kojima.
No.
And it was
God.
supposedly a horror game, which
Oh,
when I
give me
posted
that.
this, Moxie, you instantly asked if it was PT, and I
My
had to
little
remind
heart, I
you
was so
no.
excited. I thought maybe we might be getting PT in some way, shape, or form, but no, no, not gonna be it. I am
What's
again
PT?
severely ticked off, and I don't know who I need to punch, but I'm punching.
It should be
What
noted that since this story
what's
originally
PT?
broke,
You don't know what PT is?
Maybe.
Oh,
Park, I think I just heard the internet collapse.
oh no. Are you fibbing me right now? Are you joshing me?
Zombs,
But
do you
Zombs.
not know what PT is?
physical training?
Okay, you know what?
No.
After this podcast, I'm gonna educate you so hard.
Describe it to me in 20 words or less.
The best
Go.
horror experience released in the last 10 years.
There you go.
Called PT.
Mic drop.
Yes. It
Uh,
was available for the PS4. It was developed by Konami and Kojima, and who else was on it? Del Toro or something?
Ito.
Okay.
Can't forget
Thought,
Ito.
thought Del Toro was on that too.
Yes, Del Toro, but also Ito.
Anyways, PT stands for playable trailer,
Yes.
but it was a Silent Hill game, or was supposed to be a Silent Hill game.
Silent Hills is what it was supposed to be called. And it was supposed to potentially use the VR stuff.
Anyways, getting back to the story, Google has come out saying that the news article that we're talking about is inaccurate and hearsay, that they did not have anything to add, and that there was nothing that
Okay.
had been supposedly
I'm
supposed to
angry,
be
but a
announced.
different level of angry now.
Honestly, what it amounts to probably is that they might have been in talks with Kojima, but it never went any further than that. Especially given the fact that Stadia, as we previously talked about, has shuttered all development, internal development of video games, anyways.
Yeah, Stadia, I don't know your viewpoint on it, but I've been watching its progress,
Is
and
it
it's
progress or lack thereof?
exactly. I would say it's actually a gradual going downwards.
Not to dive too deep into Stadia, but honestly, it was expected out of the gate that it was
Mm.
just going to fail because it's Google and they don't want to spend the necessary funds on making it great. Just saying.
But that's enough of that.
Yeah, because I want to get us to something that everybody will love, especially Zombs, because
Oh,
I
so
know he's going
waifus.
to want this.
I love more than wife.
You like
Yes.
Fireball.
Okay. For one, I know that he likes The Mandalorian.
Ooh.
I'll watch The Mandalorian with waifus.
Um, well, I also know that you like Xbox.
I'll play Xbox with waifus.
Well, there is a Lucasfilm giveaway that Microsoft has teamed up with, and you can win one of, well, two limited edition Star Wars controllers.
I'll go sign up right now.
They feature the child and the Mandalorian on them, and they look pretty neat. The one that is the child is a red background with the child kind of looking up and reaching up, and the one that's the Mandalorian is a light blue with the Mandalorian kind of looking down. And both the characters are grayscale, so it's very, very neat.
I'm reading too into the red choice there.
So yeah, there you go, Zombs. You can get some Xbox controllers there, buddy. What do you think of that? Ha! Speaking of Xbox controllers, because that was a thing this week, Xbox Japan has showed off a Yakuza themed controller.
Oh, Lord.
Hold on, I'm still trying to apply for these other controllers. Oh, that one looks cool too, though.
Oh, you got him started on something. Are you happy now?
Yes, I am. I personally am thinking that this Yakuza controller looks pretty neat too.
I never got into that series.
Who cares about the series? I mean, look at the controller. It has a dragon on the left and the Yakuza label on the right, and it's a darker red that kind of changes into, I don't know, it's not quite pink, but maybe it's a flesh color. Maybe it's flesh and blood. There we go. It just looks neat,
That would
honestly.
make sense. Makes you
And
want to join the Yakuza.
sure.
Boy, way the house husband.
So evidently, it has a crayfish stand. Hold it up in the air.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But there you go, Zoms. Many, many controllers to add to your Xbox controller collection. Because really that's the business that Microsoft is in nowadays, is the controller business.
It's the accessory. I mean, it's right now, you can probably argue that it's easier to churn out accessories than it is consoles and games right now with the current climate. But,
Mm.
one can argue that.
You want to know something though?
What?
I'm going to make your day
Hmm.
because Phil Spencer put out a video recently. He made an appearance at the Microsoft AI and Gaming Research Summit last week, and there were some interesting things placed on the shelf behind him.
Mm-hmm.
Among those was a Kojima Productions Ludens figure next to the big Xbox logo.
Wait a minute.
Now, before you say anything else, I want you to think about this. Before the Microsoft Xbox Series S was released, Phil Spencer had one on his shelf. Everybody could see it. Nobody paid attention to it.
I'm not going to say a thing because I don't want my heart to be broken.
But a insider on the industry has said that this is probably significant, but he's not going to say exactly how significant it really is.
Oh, come on. Give me my Kojima. My Kojima stuff.
And he was afraid to say much more than that. So there is a possibility that you could be getting a Kojima Productions game on a Microsoft console in the future, in the
Yes.
near future.
You
I'll
guys
give it
do
a shot.
realize I'm as much as a Kojima fan as I am a Del Toro fan, correct?
Yes.
Which is why PT would have been freaking heaven with Ito as well involved. But whatever. It's neither here, nor there.
Zombs, are you excited?
Yeah, I'll do it.
I think he's more amused with my freak out there.
It ain't nothing but a thing.
Well, it could be very
I
much
thought you were
more
gonna
than a
say
thing.
nothing but a hound dog. I was gonna be like, oh, we got Elvis in the house?
Moving on to our next piece of news, you get to go to Arby's now and order food from the kids' meal and get Shovel Knight in it.
That is. I mean, okay, granted, I haven't been to an Arby's in like 2 or 3 years. I didn't even know they had kids' meals. So, number one, that's shocking. Number two, why Shovel Knight?
Well, I mean, this is huge. For one, I love Shovel Knight, but it's the premier indie game. If you've not played Shovel Knight,
Oh, you.
then do
I.
you own a video game console? Because it's on
Oh,
everything.
man. I played it. I don't own it. Once again, I borrowed it from a friend.
I watched somebody play it. I don't own it.
The Infinidagger.
Well, anyways,
Infinidagger.
the toys are not much of anything to speak of because all they are little disc launchers. The more important thing, though,
Is a
is that
start.
you get codes with these toys for in-game DLC,
Oh, that's sweet.
and they do different things. One of the codes lets you wear the Arby's hat. Another one turns enemies into Arby's food. Another one turns health restoring items into Arby's food. You kind of see a trend here, I hope. It's
Mm,
all Arby's related, but it's neat
Mhm.
because this is huge.
I mean, on one hand, I hate that it's all Arby's related DLC. I understand why. Um, I think it's just tacky, but I do love that they're picking a indie game. I think that's great.
Yeah, the
It needs more
last one I
spotlight.
think was Sonic the Hedgehog that they did the promotion with, and you didn't get anything. But
No.
this is just amazing to me. I so kind of want to go to an Arby's and get a kids meal just so I can get one of the DLCs and try it out.
do it.
Heck, if you
I
get
might.
one for me, and maybe I'll actually finally buy it.
You really should. I
Mm.
mean, okay. To
It's
tell
got
you how
Plague
much
Knight in it. How could I not? It has Plague Knight with exploding rats. How freaking cool.
to tell you how much I love Shovel Knight, I have it on the Wii U, the 3DS, and the Switch. And I have it on the Switch two ways because I bought it digitally when it first came out on the Switch, and then I bought a physical copy of it. So I've kind of helped build the Yacht Club empire on my own. Just saying.
And now I know more about you.
The more you know, the less you care.
Hey, I didn't say that now. Y'all just go and say that.
Zoms, I have news that will hurt you severely.
Do it. I want the pain. I want to relish in it.
Do it.
Hurt him.
Do
Hurt
it.
him.
PlayStation has made the unfortunate decision that come August, you will no longer be able to purchase or rent movies and TV shows through the PlayStation Store.
Yeah, I saw that. I don't know why they're doing that.
Probably to streamline their business. They want you, if you're going to watch anime, rather than buy it on the PlayStation Store, they probably want you to stream it through like the Funimation app, which they own, and a few other things. So that's probably part of the reason why.
Joke's on them. I already streamed that stuff through the main services.
See, anybody that owns anything already is not going to be affected. They will still be able to access the stuff that they have purchased, but if you haven't made any purchases and you want to do so, now is the time to do it. I personally don't see this changing much because probably the reason why they're shutting it down is it's not making enough money. Besides, like Zombs just said, he streams everything anyways. So next up, though, this was completely unexpected by everyone. Epic has bought Mediatonic. And for those who don't know what Mediatonic is, it is the studio behind Fall Guys.
Yep, yep.
So
So what
another
does this
big,
mean?
it means another big corporate thing just got even bigger.
I'm more cash grabs probably in some way of promotional, like, oh, get the Fall Guys and Fortnite. But
Yeah, see, that's it.
again,
You
yeah.
can play as a Fall Guy in Fortnite, so you can play as a big
Oh,
jelly bean in a brightly colored world, in
yep.
an already brightly colored world that's on the brink of self-destruction. So there we go.
You
That
know
works.
what? Nah, that's perfect. That's 2021 vibes right there.
Now, see, you didn't like the bingo card for the RB stunt, but you'll take the bingo card for this. That's not fair.
Dude, Arby's stuff is disgusting.
You are
Your
alone.
face, you look so offended.
You are alone. Moving on. Next up, the next Dragon Age is coming, and the next Dragon Age game is coming, and it's going to be single player.
Oh yeah, I saw this.
It was originally set to be a live service game, but now it is a single player only. So,
I'm so happy they're doing that. Getting rid of live service because too many games are live service, and I'm not gonna lie, I play a few that are live service, obviously because of subscriptions, but I don't like the live services these days. Just because I play them does not mean I don't point out their horrible flaws.
yeah. Honestly, this is where it should be, anyways. This is a BioWare game. BioWare thrives in single player stories. They don't need
Yes,
to go that stupid route of
they get more
everybody
immersive stuff
online.
done.
Yeah. Evidently, though, this change has only occurred in recent months, which means that we're not getting this game anytime soon.
They probably have a lot to not quite scrap, but redo.
Yeah, probably along the same lines as Metroid Prime 4 that completely got scrapped after a year of development and got rebooted from the very beginning. So, I don't know. This is just the way of the game nowadays. In our final piece of video game-ish related news, Microsoft has revealed the Mesh mixed reality platform.
The what?
The Mesh mixed reality platform. Kind of
Yes.
looks cool.
What
And
is this?
You
What's
are a
this? What's
good
this?
questioner, Zombs, and I'll tell you why. Because I actually watched the trailer for this, and I still didn't have a freaking clue what in the world I was trying to watch. Um, what they showed off in the trailer is a bunch of people being able to congregate virtually, virtual holograms. Everybody was wearing the HoloLens, and yeah, that was it. That was really it. It made 0 sense. I was more confused from watching the trailer be afterwards as than, from before I actually watched it.
It sounds about right. No, I watched the same thing and yeah, trust me, I didn't understand much of it either.
I mean, it looks like a great science fiction thing, and
Yes,
if this happens, woohoo!
the
I
potential they could do a lot with it, but there's not
mm,
much they're showing off right now by way of what they can do with it.
well, they actually showed off a bunch of different things that you could potentially do with it,
Yeah,
such
but
as
like
have
game,
virtual doctor's visits, be able to work in a group setting, and each person be able to interact with a hologram,
yeah,
but each person be a hologram, and all that again sounds really interesting. I just don't have a clue how they're going to get it to work
yeah,
successfully. And I'm still confused about exactly what it is because at one point they showed a weird glove like thing on one person's hand that looked like it was a mesh. And yeah, that was during the doctor's visit portion. And the
yeah.
doctor said, hold your one finger up to your thumb, like they were trying to take their pulse or something. It's like, okay, cool. But
Like I can
what
get
is
that.
mesh?
I understand that, but I'm also trying to think of like they didn't like they showed us a lot, but they also didn't really go into depth of you know what I'm trying to get at, like the game potential.
Well, they didn't even make any realistic. aligns to gaming. But my thing is what is mesh? Is
Yeah.
it the platform? Is it a device? What is mesh? And it sounds like it's a platform, but platforms have technology to them.
Yeah.
I just
But we don't know.
so yeah,
I want to know more about the specifics, though.
coming to a store near you in the year 2040, maybe, maybe never. But that does it for video game related news. Zombs.
Already?
Yeah, Zombs. Short
Oh
week.
wow.
Highlights of the week were Mesh, Arby's, and Xbox controllers. Oh, and that little Kojima thing.
Chima.
Don't want
Hey,
to upset Moxie too much.
Yeah, you better not.
So come on, Zombs. Anime news
Chima
time.
is the man.
there's so much anime news. I guess I'll just fill in the blank spaces with everything anime related.
Well, while
Okay.
he's doing that, I actually forgot. I need to give you both an update on the Pokemon Nuzlocke. I sadly lost Chan
I
the
know you
Tyrouge.
messaged that. I legitimately felt sad.
And conveniently, I lost him while trying to capture a Machop on Route 3. So I replaced one fighting type with another fighting type, and in the honor of catching the Machop, I named it Zombs.
There you go.
Why?
Hey, you got a Pokemon named after you.
Because we all need a Pokemon named after us, and you look like a Machop.
Yes.
Gray skin, strange
Kind of a bit of
eyes,
the ribs detailing showing on.
Eh,
that slightly less than muscular physique.
Hey, that's okay. I've had like a couple people name a certain Pokemon after me, and I'm sure you can guess which one it was.
Agumon?
Exactly.
One of these days, we're going to talk about Digimon. One of these days.
Yeah, when they come out with a new movie or something.
Do it.
We don't have to wait that long.
Oh god. Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it.
Hey, we've had new Digimon games recently, so
Oh, do not jinx it.
just saying. Zoms, anime news, buddy.
Anime news. Cue the music.
I'll insert music here somewhere. Maybe.
So you had mentioned a roster earlier in Hyrule Warriors, and that made me thinking about this video game, Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires. The big topic for this is it's been delayed indefinitely.
Ooh.
Why?
I don't know.
You know, a lot of things got delayed recently, like Bloodlines. So, I mean, like The Masquerade. So, a lot of things are getting delayed indefinitely. It's the year. It's going to be the year of that, I'm afraid.
What they announced with it was they said although Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires was initially announced as an early 2021 release, the team is still working hard on delivering the best game possible. So we wanted to let our fans know the current situation and will announce the new launch window and future updates. And they apologize and appreciate your continued support.
Oh, at least they
That's
made a
sad.
press thing about it. Yeah. I'm, like I said, it's going to be the year of that. We got a lot
Yeah,
more coming.
a lot more negative stuff.
No, not negative in way. I mean, it is ultimately negative, but it's unfortunately cannot be helped given the time period we're in. So while it's
Yep.
negative, it's not me being a negative Nancy. You know what I mean? It's me
Hmm.
saying, unfortunately, this is how it's going to be. Hopefully, it'll get
Yep.
better.
Here's more news, actually. More bad news. One of the biggest anime conventions in the United States, Anime Expo, or AX, which this year would have run from July 2nd through the 5th. The physical event has been canceled, and Anime Expo Lite returns. Um, 2021 marks the Anime Expo's event's 30th anniversary, but through a tweet, they will not be having it physically this year.
It's a shame. Again,
It's getting
can't be helped,
depressing.
but
Zoms, give us some good news.
Okay, how about this? Check out Tokyo Mew Mew Mew. It's a new anime. from Tokyo Mew Mew. Tokyo Mew 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 has a new startup song.
Sing it.
I need 4 other people to sing with me because the official YouTube channel for the Tokyo Mew Mew New project has posted a preview video for its 2 startup songs, Bittersweet Darling and Resolution of Colors, performed by its 5-member voice actress, the unit Smoothie. The 5 members will also voice the upcoming TV anime's main characters. So that's cool. Can you imagine if
So
like Ghost came out with an anime and they were also the voice actors?
hold on a sec.
Would love that. They're already in DC Comics, so I mean, come on.
Now hold
Yeah.
on. Hold up here a second. Hold up. You said that it was voice actresses in this Tokyo Mew 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 Mew.
Tokyo Mew Mew New.
How many Mews is it for one? 3, 4,
2.
5?
There's 2. Tokyo Mew Mew and then New.
Okay. Anyways, getting back to what I was saying, you said it's voice actresses, as in this is an anime full of waifus for Zombs.
Let me look at this.
Probably.
Wait, what am I supposed to look at? Am I supposed to look at the characters or am I supposed to look at the voice actresses?
You know, if you have to ask, it just solidifies that you have more waifus than you need on both ends.
I'm gonna say there's at least 4 possible candidates.
From which end?
Moving on to our news.
Zombs, what are we to do with you?
So, if you've ever felt like your company was being run by an infant, you're not alone. Because General Manager of Baby in English, a surreal comedy webcomic about a 47-year-old executive who reverts back to being a baby one day, is being adapted into a short form TV anime that's supposed to broadcast this month, March 2021. This one I'm kind of looking forward to. I'd like to see how they implement all the thoughts of how we think our corporates are being run by infants.
Not gonna say.
Sounds like somebody's watched Boss Baby one too many times, to be honest.
That's what I thought. I thought the same
Ugh.
thing. The Japanese are jumping a hold on this.
Not happy.
Also, they got the date for Odd Taxi is set to premiere in Japan on April 5. Crunchyroll announced plans to stream the series during the Anime Awards presentation, but well, they did. I did watch the Crunchyroll Awards, and that one I was pretty excited with, but some things I was not happy with. Other things I thought were fair, but yeah, they did show a quick video. But now we know that the date is April 5th. I'm excited. Also, next up, the Ghost in the Shell character design is being used for trio of sake brews. I'm gonna go and buy them all.
So
More
you're gonna
sake for me.
buy sake for all of us?
You know what, Brosive? Yes. Yes, I will. We can all drink it together.
We're not gonna see any of it.
The way he guzzles
Okay.
down Fireball? No way.
Yep.
Nope, it's gonna happen. You tell me when, and I'll be there with it. And yeah,
Nerd Break's 1-year anniversary.
okay,
It's set.
I'll be there.
Plan
It's
the day.
set. It's happening. We're all gonna get our own bottles, and we're all gonna finish it.
While playing Mortal Kombat?
If you want to die, then okay. And now I'd like to take this time to announce anime birthdays.
Anime birthday!
I like how you do the intro to that now.
Somebody had to.
Don't worry, we got something planned for you, Moxie,
I'm really scared.
as you should be. But let's start off with this happy little thought. This one This one's cool. Chun-Li for March 1st. Everybody's a fan of Chun-Li.
Yep. Oh, I am.
This one was a little bit of surprise for me. Was Flora from Winx Club.
Please tell me not the remake. I mean, technically, it would be the remake, wouldn't it? In a way.
Please tell
I
me
think
why
they all
we're talking
share
about it.
because it's Japanese.
Mm-hmm. Actually, it was Winx is an Italian-made cartoon, but still, it counts. It's animation.
Let me see. Ryunosuke Aku Tagawa from Bungo Stray Dogs. March 1st. Another March 1st. Here's another popular one from My Hero Academia was Usagiyami Rumi.
Yeah.
This one from One Piece is Sanji as well as the other Vinsmoke siblings. March 3rd from Fire Force, Princess Hibana.
Really?
She's great.
Yeah. Very.
I was excited for this one. Tokyo Ghouls, Shu Tsukiyama, March 3rd. These next two, both from Kaguya-sama, Love is War, Chika Fujiwara, March 3rd, as well as Yu Ishigami. I love them. They share the same birthday. I wonder if they know that in the anime or manga, whichever.
They
Here's one
probably
of
share birthdays.
here's one of Brosiv's favorites, Penelope from Hamtaro.
I
Oh,
beg your pardon.
it
I've
is
never even
his
watched Hamtaro.
favorite. Oh,
Hmm.
that's cute.
I've
Used
never
to
watched
watch it.
Hamtaro.
I
There's
didn't
there's
know
no
you
shame.
liked Hamtaro.
There's no shame.
No shame at all.
Another My Hero Academia, for March 4th, Tamaki Amajiki.
Sun Eater! Yeah! It's my boy! It's the Sunshine Boy!
And he dies.
Don't you say that in this house.
Mhm.
Don't you
Yeah,
disrespect
there's a lot of
Sunshine.
crazy stuff going on right now. So, no. Don't. Anyways, Zombieland sagas. Since I thought this one was pretty good, especially since they've announced a second season. Talked about that last week. Ai Mizuno. And there was actually a lot of birthdays. This list is huge, but that's where I'm going to cut it off. My original list was maybe like 6 times this. I was so excited. There's so many. Unfortunately, I had to grab my D&D dice and just started rolling and cutting out names. That was the most fairest thing I could do.
The metal
I
name
told
is
them
the metal ones?
metal ones, yes.
Yeah, your metal dice. Awesome.
And that will end it for me for anime news. If
Hey, at least Sun Eater
there's
got on the list.
yeah, I was pretty excited about that. But any listeners, if you want to talk about other characters' birthdays, let's talk about some favorite characters. Trust me, my anime knowledge is pretty extensive.
Yeah, he
Or
puts me
you
to
want me
shame.
to do a shout out? You know it's coming up. I will. I will do it. Email us at that nerdbreakpodcast. Broseph, what is that email?
Add@gmail.com and you got it.
I love doing those plugins when he's not expecting it. Really
Mhm.
keeps him on
And
his
we
toes.
don't do basic math here because
No, I'm horrible at math, so it's on you.
we
You
can't.
know, if he was any more obvious in telegraphing the plug, I would have asked for the postman to come to my door to answer Zombs. Anyways, with the anime news out of the way, I think it's time now for that favorite occasion of all of us. It is time for our
Big topic.
I like the reverb going on there. I don't know if you meant that.
Well, in any case, it is time for our big topic. And you, dear listener, can weigh in if you would like to. In fact, you can even suggest a future big topic. If you would like to, just send an email to us at nerdbreakpodcast@gmail.com. This week, our big topic is our top 3 favorite Zelda games. In honor of the 35th anniversary of The Legend of Zelda, we are going to count off our favorite Zelda games that we've played from 3 to 1. This is a small list, but some of us have small minds.
No, just that I didn't get to actually play through all of them. Don't you call us out. You know exactly why we have the short list.
In any case,
I'm going to call
Moxie,
you
There
out.
was
since you spoke first, you
there
get
was
to
an
start first.
argument.
Oh, was that a trap? Was that a trap you laid? But yeah, no. Starting at number 3 would be Wind Waker. I was lucky enough to play to end on that one and not like a game that I borrowed but couldn't finish in time before I had to give it back. Uh, yeah, that one I gotta say, like that was one of the memorable ones. I had a whole lot of issue with it though. Not bad, just for some reason me playing that game. Yeah, no idea. Don't know what went wrong, but I managed to beat it.
Interesting. What did you take a problem to in that game?
You know how when I got Breath of the Wild, first few things I was texting you were like, "Oh, I didn't know you could die from this," or "Oh, that was a neat death animation."
What, you don't like the fact that you can't die in Breath of the Wild or
Oh
in Wind
no,
Waker?
like I died a lot. My point is, in that game, I died a lot. Guess to what particular enemy?
A Deku scrub.
Yeah.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Who dies to Deku scrubs?
Me, apparently.
Granted, I have a few times, but come on.
It's our kryptonite.
It is.
Evidently. And you want to know the strange thing? They're green and brown. So
Yes.
you have kryptonite to brown and green colors,
I
evidently.
was playing on a very TV wasn't really that good quality. Let's put it that way. Colors blended. What kind of environment are they often seen in?
Still.
Yeah,
Still.
yeah. You
So
know what
what
I'm
did you
saying.
like about it though?
Um, I honestly liked the whole. I know this is gonna sound so silly. The ocarina bit. I thought it was really cute. Like, oh, play music to, do whatever you need to get done. I actually like the ocarina bit, and I would actually mess up on purpose just to have a fun time
So you
seeing what
mean
I.
the Wind Waker baton?
Did I say Ocarina of Time at first or Wind Waker? Because I'm talking about Ocarina of Time.
I thought you said Wind Waker.
If I did, that's not. Sorry. It's Ocarina of Time.
Oh.
The one where you start out small, you get big. The moon stares
Well, that
at you in the
changes things
face.
completely. So your number
Yes.
3 is Ocarina of Time.
Yes. If I said Wind Waker, I'm so sorry. It's Ocarina of Time.
Those are 2 entirely different games.
Yes, they are. I've
Hmm.
had a heck of a week, if you need to know, and the wine has worn off.
Okay. Well, then we'll just kick it over to Zombs number 3.
My number 3 was Breath of the Wild.
Hmm.
Really?
Yes,
Why so low on the list?
because I have not finished it,
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
that makes sense.
so it could change.
okay.
But it's
So,
fun. That just because it's number 3 doesn't mean that I did not like it. I liked it. I do like it still. It's fun.
okay.
I did have a good friend of mine recommend uh, Breath of the Wild. It was one of my first Switch games when I got it, and I thought of him, and I'm happy that he recommended it. Thanks, Wingerberg. But yeah,
Gee, it almost sounds like you were trying to point at me when saying that, Zombs.
Isn't
no,
that your
you
real
wish you
name?
were Wingerberg.
Hmm.
I thought
In
that was
any
your real
case,
name. So.
What's your number 3, Broseph?
my number 3, after much deliberation, is Majora's Mask.
Okay.
There is something that speaks to me in this game, even though you have to repeat it an untold number of times to beat the game, just like 4, 5, something like that. And granted, I've only beaten it once. I just love the game and the characters. And the fact that they actually took the time to craft the world in such a way that feels like a living world. Moxie, you played Ocarina of Time.
Mhm.
Majora's Mask is a direct sequel. If you have a 3DS, both Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask were remade for the 3DS. I highly recommend both of them,
I've only
especially
played
Majora's
a
Mask.
little bit of that. I never got to finish it. That was one of the things that I borrowed. That's why I don't
You
have it
should
on the list.
really get Majora's Mask for the 3DS and play it. It is trippy and horrifying in some aspects. I mean, it deals with death. It is an allegory for death.
Hmm.
The game just it would be right up your alley. And Zombs, you too. I mean, you both need to play this game. It is
If it has
amazing.
anything to do with death, I'm the edge lord that will play it.
Yes, it has a lot to do with death. Trust
I
me.
like how you just agree with what I just said there. That's how I
Yes,
know you're a friend.
but Majora's Mask lets you equip different masks, turn into a Zora, turn into a Goron, turn into a Deku. So you can take your revenge on the Deku by
Thank God.
beating them up
Yeah,
with the Deku.
at least on Breath of the Wild, I can kind of see the stuff better, but that particular game, the colors blended for some reason. I maybe you understand what I mean by that.
I do. Ocarina of Time is a dark game, so.
Mm.
But when you said Wind Waker, I completely
Yeah,
agree.
I don't know what I was thinking. It's Ocarina of Time because that has the creepy moon, and I cackle at the meme all the time.
Majora's Mask has the creepy moon.
Oh God, I don't know what I'm playing now. Majora's Mask. Okay, who knows?
Majora's Mask has the moon with the face. Trust me.
Maybe it was that one then I played because I remember the freaky moon.
And you had to repeat the days
Yes, I
consistently.
hated that.
That was Majora's Mask.
Then that's what I played. It's been a while. Childhood.
Maybe I should have switched my number 3 to Ocarina of Time then.
Hey, you never know.
Moving on to number 2, Moxie. What's your number
Okay,
2?
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild is number 2 for you. Is
Hmm.
this because you also have not beaten it?
Also have not beaten it, but the first place is still far better in my mind.
Okay. So, what about Breath of the Wild do you like
I
other than the deaths?
darn it. Okay, I have to think something other than deaths. Okay.
Maybe I should go to Zombs number 2 while you think of something
Not
other than
gonna
death.
lie, I kind of used it as, me in like games and therapy that I get kind of immersed in and I just use it to relax.
Yes.
Yeah, despite the puzzles in that game, it was for me an immersive little getaway. And not saying the puzzles are bad. I'm just saying like I would just literally get on my horse and spend 8 hour session of doing nothing. And it was nice. Just literally exploring the map and seeing how far I could go and find new things and open up new towers and also see how high I can scale things.
Makes sense. Sometimes when I want to unwind, I jump into a game of Friday the 13th as Jason and just kill people.
You know, that's good too.
I don't see the parallels here. I really don't.
Or,
One, you go
and
around.
then Sea of Thieves. I like to get on the high seas and
You're a pirate.
See more parallel, at least between that and Breath of the
just
Wild, than I
sail.
do.
Oh,
Wow. Okay then. Um, Zombs, you're number 2.
the original Legend of Zelda.
Okay. What
Oh no.
do you like about it?
Oh no.
When I first started playing that, it was tough, but kept at it. And the more secrets that were revealed to me, the more fun that I started having. And it was just really neat trying to figure it out, all the puzzles and secrets and killing of my enemies and making them explode. It was a lot of fun.
You can play that on the Switch Online on the NES app.
I'll probably go back and do it. I played it on the original NES,
Oh,
and then I
wow.
played it on the 3DS, and now I'll probably go back one day and play it on the Switch.
There you go. That is a classic game, though. Very
Yes, it is.
iconic.
You might be surprised at my number one then.
Well, before we get to your number one, I'm going to give my number two, which is
Oh yeah, I
actually.
forgot you were here.
Oh, gee,
I know,
thanks.
right? It kind of blends in.
Right. My number two is actually Wind Waker.
Wind Waker.
It was technically the first Zelda game that I got. If you don't count the fact that I got the GameCube exclusive disc that had Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, the original Legend of Zelda, and Zelda 2 on it.
I like how when you had mentioned the title and then Moxie jumped in with the little song bit there for Wind Waker, I think I'd like to imagine that that is how you start up the game. You put the game in the console and you start it up and it Legend of Zelda. And then Moxie jumps in with the Wind Waker bit.
You know, Wind Waker was unique, and you would probably like it, Zombs, because it's very
It's
anime-esque.
so shaded, isn't it?
Oh yeah, yes it is.
It's lovely.
It really is.
That's one
And
I've watched Let's Plays of. I just have never, you know.
just to prove a point, they had to change very little in that game when they put it out on the Wii U in the HD version. They changed very little to
Really?
get that running. Yes,
Doesn't surprise me.
because the art style worked so well. It's
For
where we
back then,
got
it
Cat
did.
Eye Link. That's the reason why you need to play it, Moxie. Link has cat eyes.
I don't know about that though. I'd start calling him Cat Boy, and I really don't know if the world needs that.
Well, the world has Cat Mario, so
I
what?
mean,
what-
but that's
Um,
a bit more understandable. He's
Wind
in a
Waker though.
fursuit. He's in a fursuit. Yeah, more.
Wind Waker defied expectations because when it was announced and launched, people were wanting a realistic Legend of Zelda. Then they got this, and they didn't even know what the heck to do with it. I just loved it for what it was, and I want to go back and play it again.
No, you will.
Nintendo, if you're listening, I expect you to port The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD onto the Switch before the end of the year. Please and thank you.
They can take that idea because they probably are listening to us. So that way they can get all the info they need when they sue us.
Yep.
But I'll only say nice things about you for at least a month if you do it. Moxie, how about your number one?
So how predictable do you think I am?
Very, very predictable.
So are you gonna be surprised when I say it's actually the first ever Zelda game that came out?
No.
I'm
You
actually
both.
very surprised
I
You're both
use
telegraphing everything. I don't understand why you are surprised, Zoms.
Yep.
because I thought hers was going to be Silent Hill.
I mean, I do like Silent Hill because Kojima the man, but we could have had Silent Hills. But besides that, besides being a rabid Silent Hill fan, which I am, um,
Hashtag Sue Konami.
yeah, um, the first one has a bit of nostalgia with it because I remember sitting in my little kitchen, cramped over in front of the tiny TV we had at the time, because it came back way back. And I remember playing that with my mom watching. And it's so funny because I don't know how many times I actually played that game. But going back to it, whether I finished it in a run or not, or I was watching somebody else play, like my father, it was a bit of home. Like home in the sense of a video game can be a home. It was something that I loved so dearly. And even now, if I went back and played the game, I'm pretty sure, even with its very low graphics and not much to it, I would still think the same way.
You talking like that just now reminded me that you can actually play that game together with people on the NES app on the Switch Online. So you can watch people playing Legend of Zelda.
Hey, anybody out there in the podcast universe want to play with me? Play with me? or let me watch them, like, play the game, because I am a huge person that kind of just, I'm not actually a huge person, but I'm a huge fan of watching people play.
Yes, there is a distinct difference between her being a huge person and a huge person that likes to watch
Oh, I'm
people play.
tiny. I'm tiny. I'm closer to you know what.
I'm trying to help here. You're not helping.
Dude, I embrace it. I can dude. It's like that one movie, I can just drag him down. Drag him straight down.
Let's not try to drag anybody down. Let's try to lift
Oh
everybody
yeah.
up. To Zombs number one. Okay, let's go that way.
Bring it. Bring
Lift
it, zombie
lift
boy.
them up into the meat grinder.
Uh,
There was a strange comic on my brother's fridge that had that subject. Anyway, continue.
Okay. My number one. It has to be a Legend of Zelda game, right?
Yes.
that would be the point of a top 3 Legend of Zelda game list. Zombs.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me go through my people here. And okay, I'll
Oh,
do this one. I liked for number one, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
okay. This is starting to hit more like a top 10 list. Why Ocarina of Time, Zombs? Other than
Didn't this
your
happen the last time we did a list? Like we all synced without like pre-planning or pre-discussing before. We ended up in the same kind of mind vibe.
well, I'm gonna tell you something.
God.
Barring a few magical changes, most people wind up playing the same Legend of Zelda games. You guys are just completely out of order, that's all.
Yeah. I like
So,
being out of
Maybe
order.
they're just really good.
Ocarina of Time, though, Zombs. What about it, buddy? What do you love
Oh,
about it that you had to place it at number one on your list?
there was just one thing. Okay,
Yes.
playing this game that I thought was great was in Ocarina of Time. You play the ocarina, okay, and when you go on to the Goron settlement, you go all the way to the bottom and you see Big Boss Goron, and he's kind of being a downer. So you start playing one of the songs for him, and it jumps to that little bit of the little cutscene of him dancing, and I can remember it, and he's just dancing while you're playing, and it's to me it was the most hilarious moment, and I just thought it was so crazy that whenever I play Ocarina of Time, I rush to that point just to play that song, just to see that little scene, or if I'll just be out in the world somewhere and I remember that song, I'll just remember that moment. That will forever be with me.
You know, the funny thing is, that's halfway through the game.
I can get through halfway through the game pretty quickly now because of the motivation that I have.
Sounds like it. I remember that part, and you're right, it is funny.
It's hilarious.
All right, well, I guess it's time for my number one.
Okay, cut your cake.
Unfortunately, I can't compete with the nostalgia that Moxie has presented for her loving The Legend of Zelda, the original one. And you, Zoms, also have nostalgia for Ocarina of Time. My favorite Legend of Zelda game is so recent that to have nostalgia for it isn't quite what I would say, and yet there is nostalgia in the fact because it is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Boo.
Hey yo.
As the only person of this group who's actually beaten the game, it was technically the second game I got for the Switch. And what can I say? There are so many firsts in that game that you can go back to it after not having played it for months and just start running around and you can find another first moment for that game. It's just littered full of secrets and on so many levels they got the game just right. It's almost gaming perfection to a certain extent. It takes the aspect of not having a clue what to do from the original Legend of Zelda pulls along some of the great highs of Ocarina of Time and really nails some of the darker aspects, like in Majora's Mask. It pulls an art style all of its own, just like Wind Waker, and melds it all into this amazing open world that was so thoughtfully crafted. Just the first opening moments of Breath of the Wild speak so many volumes to the adventure that you can have before you. And being able to play that game, play it for several months as the only game I was playing, really was probably the best experience I've had playing video games, possibly in my entire life. And that's why it's my number one.
You know what? I like that.
So now that I've inspired both of you, you now have to spend the next several months beating the game. Okay?
If I can even get a life from work.
Oh, it doesn't
You
take that
forget
much.
I'm in medical research.
You forget you can run straight to Ganon and cut his throat out without having to do anything else in the game.
I am not a fool, my friend.
Anyways, that does
I'm
it
not a
for
fool.
this week's big topic. Do you agree with us, dear listener, or do you disagree? Let us know your top 3 Legend of Zelda games by either dropping a comment in the comments section or sending us an email at nerdbreakpodcast@gmail.com. But thanks as always for listening. On behalf of myself, Zombs,
It's me, Zombs.
and Moxie,
I'm probably gonna go get some meat after this. What do you think, guys? You all want something?
I
it's
want
gonna be
some
horse
meat.
meat.
Mead, as in chug chug mead.
Oh, I'll just drink some water.
You owe me meat.
I do. I promise.
I'm waiting.
I promise. I'll get you that mead.
I'm excited.
Thanks everyone for listening, and we'll see you next time.
You're
Bye.
welcome.
2021 is still a nightmare. Help us.
What's a guy to do?